YouTube and on Instagram. So we're going to be live for however long we feel like. I don't have a set agenda tonight. We are just going to keep talking until we kind of are done. Sorry, I got Lily here. She's going insane. Hold on one second. Let me see if I'm muted over here. Okay. What's going on, guys? How's it going, Bag and Biggins? How's it going, everyone? We are live both on Instagram and on YouTube right now. So we got Lily right here. For those of you guys that are watching on Instagram can see her, but those of you that are watching on YouTube, she's right here. My buddy Pascal over on YouTube says he's getting some custom jigs and jerkbaits. So he'll be doing an unboxing on those. So I'm excited to see those. What's going on, Dylan? How's the fishing up north? It's good. I went out on Sunday and we caught some really good fish. I think we put like 20 fish in the boat, but they were all really quality fish. I mean, average fish out there was 2.5 or 3 pounds. But what's going on, Matthew? How's it going, everyone? We have 13 viewers over on my YouTube live, and then we have another 5 on my Instagram live right now. Are they spawning yet or pre-spawn? They're kind of like in between. I want to call them, they're like early spring. So I don't call them pre-spawn, but they're not really, I guess they're pre-spawn. Let's not make it complicated. What's going on, Colin? Dustin said he just got a boat for his birthday. That is awesome, man. That is awesome that you just got a boat. What's the water temp? Water temp was between 43 and 48 degrees on Sunday when I went out. So I still consider that winter, but it's really like early spring. I guess you could call it pre-spawn. Yeah, those shorts are almost as sexy as a bikini bottom shirt that I was wearing in that other video. These were my old lacrosse shorts. I played lacrosse for like 5 years, 6 years, and they always had weird shorts, but these are the most comfortable shorts. What's going on, Shane? What happened to the Talons? So I sold the Talons because I want to get an Ultrex. As you guys know, or as you might know, I fish the Great Lakes a lot. I mean, that's my passion. So the Ultrex to me is a better option to fish the Great Lakes because you can spot lock. Someone asked what my smallmouth personal best is. It's a 6-pound, 9-ounce smallmouth. I caught it on crankbait. What temps do you think really kick off the largemouth spawn? I would say probably over 60 degrees, between 60 to like, I don't want to give you a temp, but like 60 plus degrees. Where did I catch it? I caught it on the Great Lakes, Lake Huron. Is Lake St. Clair still very muddy? Yes. My buddy actually is coming up to fish up north, like Hubbard, Grand, Long, those lakes, because Lake St. Clair is still super muddy. For me, it's when it gets into the mid-50s. Mid-50s for spawn largemouth, I'm looking at like 58 to like 60 plus. I mean, to me, anything up to 60 is pre-spawn. That's what I look at it. Yeah, Dustin Woody said 62 is the magic number. I agree. I mean, that's really, oh, just pre-spawn. Yeah. Mid-50s, yeah. I mean, that's really like 53 to 60 is pre-spawn to me. But hey, what's going on, Mitch? Headed to Hubbard on Thursday. Yes, Hubbard should be fun. I don't know what those fish are doing this time of year, but they will be, it'll be fun if you can get on some. Someone said, yeah, is it Jeremy? Oh, yeah, it is Jeremy. Okay. How's it going, guys? My buddy Dylan is trying to catch a fish on a depths swim bait. As you guys saw, I caught some pike on that swim bait this weekend, that 7-inch. It's a dual Ninja twitching glider. That's what I caught 2 pike on. I mean, it was almost back to back. I think there were like a couple casts in between, but for the most part. How's it going, Lady Bass? Isabella? Yeah, so I want to talk to you guys about kind of what I did to catch those fish this weekend, because it was kind of special. I didn't expect the fish to be as shallow as they were. I caught them all between like 3.5 and 7 foot of water. And what we did is, you heard me in the video, if you guys watched my video on YouTube, I kept saying, oh, we were fishing a depression. There was a depression right there, and it came up on the flat. Well, what those fish are doing, they're using these ditches, they're using these little deeper areas where they're starting to move kind of back, or move back and forth between the, I call them spawning bays. Essentially what they're doing is they're feeding up on bait fish that push up in those bays. And that deeper water gives them a little bit more cover. When the water's colder, they can get down in that 7 to 8 foot range. And then once it got really warm, what they did is those fish pushed up on top of the flat, and that's when we would catch them in like 3.5 foot of water. But that's what we were doing. It was kind of a specialty deal. We found an area that I didn't even know had some drains in it. The lake that I was fishing, there aren't maps. Like, there's no really good mapping chips for it. So you kind of just have to experiment and drive around and find the contour swings and changes yourself. How's my dog? My dog is great. Lily's actually laying down right there, so I don't want to bug her because she's kind of a pain sometimes. What's going on, Nathan? Yeah, so Nathan and I were the ones that went fishing, or Nathan is the kid that went fishing with me on Sunday when we caught those fish. Are the pike post-spawn? I honestly don't know. I'm not sure when pike spawn. I don't really keep up with that, unfortunately. I'm probably going to end up, what's going on, Nathan? I'm probably going to end up fishing, hopefully Friday, hopefully Saturday, and I don't know if I probably won't fish Sunday. Sunday is going to be really busy with Easter and all the holidays. My buddy Russell said the pike that he caught was full of eggs, so they might still be spawning. Have I ever fished near Lake Michigan or the Chicago area? I haven't. No, I haven't. Lake Michigan is really tough, though, because what's going on, Hooked? Lake Michigan is really tough because there's not a ton of contour changes. It's a lot of sand. So you have to get out there and really find the bait fish and find where those fish are. Sounds good, Mitch. Mitch said he's coming up to Houghton. He's going to honk when he passes Michigan. A bass tournament on St. Clair this summer. Any suggestions? St. Clair is really tough. You have to find the bait fish. I don't know when it is. I think it's June or July. I'm not entirely positive, but it's going to be a tough tournament unless you get out there and really try to find those fish and you try to get dialed in. Pike should be pre to spawn in our area. Okay, yeah. So I'm assuming pike spawn a lot earlier. I know my buddy was saying that they were catching them really shallow, but I haven't gone out. I've never really gone out and targeted pike. So I have 30-pound fluorocarbon for his big baits, and you can't see it in water. There's 5 foot visibility. Yeah, I was actually throwing 25-pound copolymer on that 7-inch glide bait that I was throwing, and that's an interesting bait. Like with the glide, I didn't realize it, but you can work it a couple different ways, and my buddy Nathan and I were playing around with it. But some of them you can kind of reel back and get it to kick side to side, but the best way that Nathan kind of showed me to work it was give it like a really soft jerk bait action, and what that bait will do is it'll glide super wide, and you can have it come back super wide. So especially this time of year when you have to fish it slow, it'll give those fish a little bit more time to come up and get it. Pike fishing was crazy when the temps reached the low 40s. Okay, yeah, so I didn't go out when I was out in 42-degree water temp, but I didn't fish for pike. Yes, I can't wait for smallies to come into the lake. I can't wait to get back on the big water and fish for smallmouth. We haven't really had it. We had one good day where I could have gone out, but I had some family stuff I had to get done. I'm in New York and everything gets ready to kick off. Turkey season is 2 weeks. That's sweet, Frankie. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different conversation going on about the pike spawn, both on my Instagram live and on my YouTube live. I wish I had more information for you guys. I'm going to kind of recap what these guys are saying so that way you guys both get the information. But people are talking about the pike being pre-spawn and people finding pike on beds in about low 40 degree weather. So that's really as much information as I have about it. If someone said, if I didn't have any electronics or access to a lake map, how would I go about finding the fish? I'd fish shallow. You know, one thing that people get a misconception of about me is that I like to fish deep. While I do enjoy fishing deep, I grew up fishing shallow. I mean, one of my primary strengths is skipping and flipping boat docks. I think boat docks and shallow cover whole fish all year long. So I would go and I would flip boat docks. I would fish any shallow cover that I could find. And then if they weren't that shallow, if they weren't up under boat docks, what I would do is put on a good pair of polarized glasses and look for grass. You can basically go to that first grass edge. This is, I mean, you could have done this and caught the fish that we caught last weekend. Go out, find that grass edge, go out, find that small depression, just with your eyes, with good pair of polarized sunglasses, and find the breaks. And that's where you're going to find them, somewhere between shore and that first break. Someone asked where I'm based. I'm based out of Michigan. So I fish pretty much all Michigan waters. But the guys, don't get mad at me. I am going down to Florida. I'll be leaving next Thursday. So I'll be fishing with Mikey Balls next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, flying home next Sunday. Some people didn't like that I flew down to Texas and fished down there, but I am going to Florida to fish with Mikey. Do you ever fish like Huron and Escota where the Ossawa River is? No, I don't. Sorry. I didn't see him using it. Fishing Geek, or Dylan, what are you talking about using heavy leaders? I was just using 25-pound copolymer on that glide bait that I was throwing. Oh, come to Mille Lacs, dude. I would love to come to Mille Lacs. I had a trip planned last year, and it just ended up falling through. But I had a trip planned to go to Mille Lacs, just didn't work out. Do I think I'll hit 100,000? Yes. I know that's this giant goal. It's this really big goal that I have to hit 100,000, but I'm still going to push. I mean, I still believe it's possible. I didn't really plan to make a huge amount of growth up until this time anyways, but I have to be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit discouraged by the fact that I didn't even, I mean, I'm at 3,900 subscribers. So, yeah. Growing a little bit more slowly than I anticipated, but that's a lot of my fault. Did I get a big swim bait rod? I have one on order. It's on back order on Tackle Warehouse right now. It's set to ship on the 15th. It's a Dobbins Fury. It's the 8-foot. It's an 8-foot heavy model swim bait rod, I guess. It's new. 2 to 8 ounces. It'll really probably comfortably throw like a 2 to 5 or 2 to 6, but thanks for subscribing, Tommy. I appreciate it. Eli asks, will I do a pond hopping video here in Michigan? You know, what's really funny is up by me, I've really tried to pond hop, and I'm not saying that to try and appease anyone. I've really tried to do pond hopping, and it's really tough. At least where I am, there's not a ton of ponds to go fish. We have a golf course, and then we have a river that you can shore fish from, but there's not a lot of public ponds where I can go. And I was talking to my buddy Dylan, and it's really, really tough to find ponds that hold fish. How long of runs do I comfortably make in my boat on the Great Lakes, Lake St. Clair, etc.? What's my comfort zone? I really prefer nothing more than, okay, that's a hard question because one of my spots is 6 miles away and another spot is 9 miles away. My comfort zone is really only like 2 or 3 miles if the water's bad. I mean, rough, 3+, 4+ footers. But I've run way too far in 5 footers, and it was not a fun ride back. I got caught out 9 miles out on Lake Huron with my buddy Kobe, and the wind picked up, blew straight south, and picked up to like 4.5, 5 footers. And what you do when those waves are coming, you have to kind of zigzag back and forth. It took us over 2.5 hours to get in. So it was not fun, and you beat yourself pretty much to death. Yeah, Chris, man, you're gonna grow quickly, man. Thank you, Aurella. I hit Frank's every weekend. Audibles. Oh, Asabo is filled with steelhead. Yeah. I've actually never fished steelhead. I've never fished steelhead. Yeah, I was looking at the Daiwa SB swimbait rod. It's the one that Alex has. But I ended up going with the Dobbins after I saw that they came out with that. Got my Cast King order. Rods are spooled up. Pretty impressed. This is my buddy Pascal. Sorry. Okay, so Beyond Bassin makes a really good point here, and I think this is what scares a lot of people away from fishing a drop shot. He says, I don't have much confidence fishing a drop shot because it seems like I'm not getting good feel of the bait. He loves a shaky head, but just can't get himself to switch to a drop shot. Now, here's something that I said in a smallmouth video that I think I just glazed over, but to me, a drop shot is a target bait. So I'm not going to be like fan casting a drop shot in open water. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to find a target, whether it be with a crankbait, some sort of moving bait. I'm going to find my target, and then I'm going to pick it apart with a drop shot. And I always throw a leader, or I always throw a weight size just enough so I can feel my bait on the bottom. Typically it's a 1/4 to a 3/8 ounce, but for the most part, I mean, I'm not fishing a drop shot unless I know there are fish there. Okay, knowing there are fish there is different than having caught fish there. So if you see fish on your graph, you can still fish a drop shot, but I wouldn't fish a drop shot unless I've either caught fish or seen them with my eyes on my graph. Someone says, Corey said steelhead is best. My buddy loves steelhead fishing, and I just have never gone. Do I fish Lake Lancer or Lake Lancelot in the summer? I have a buddy that lives on the lake, and I go up there a lot. I fish both. I was actually on the first one this weekend when I caught those fish. And I was going to go to the other one, but my card wasn't working at the gate for some reason. The little pond in Freeland has big bass. Dang, I don't have a clue what pond you're talking about, but yeah, Chris, that's my favorite too. That's my favorite inland. Will I be fishing the river again? I've been there and caught absolute tanks. Yes. I typically only fish the river when I have a really short day or when I have when it's the fall, because that river is really good in the fall, and on short days it's right down the road. I mean, it's literally like 3 miles from my house now. Not even. Do I plan on fishing for anything other than bass this year? If I do, it's only going to be like with someone that knows what they're doing. I won't go out of my way to fish anything other than bass unless someone else is going to be fishing it with me. It's a great lake. Very healthy fish all year round. Oh, yes. Yes. Those lakes are very good. Planning any more collabs? So yeah, guys, don't get mad. People didn't like the fact that I went down to Texas. I'm going to Florida next week, next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, flying back Sunday. I'm going to be fishing with Mikey Balls. This is kind of like a dream trip. To me, Mikey is the YouTube, like, he to me is the YouTube bass fisherman that started it all. So to me to go fish with Mikey Balls, or for me to go fish with Mikey Balls, it's kind of one of those things I've always wanted to do. And this is just an awesome opportunity for me to get down there and fish with one of the OGs of YouTube bass fishing. And then I have a couple guys coming up. My buddy Alex Rudd. Alex Rudd will be coming up in May. I have a really big one that I'm not allowed to say anything about, but I have a really big one with someone that's not really in the YouTube game. But he'll be coming up here in August, I think. Scott Martin. I met Scott and I met Brandon down at the Classic. And we're going to try to work something out, but I don't know that we're for sure going to be able to get out. What's going on, Bass Fanatic? Did you just got a drone, didn't you? I was watching your video and then I had gotten sidetracked. I have AP will probably come up. John might come up again. I don't know. I still talk to all those guys. AP, Chris, yeah. Rob might come up again. Oh yeah, Tyler might come up. Tyler's Real Fishing. Tyler Anderson might come up and fish with me. So I have a lot of big things planned. I'm still shooting for 100K. It's a lofty goal, but it's something that I am excited about. I think it's possible if everything works out. Oh, Travis Moran from Lucky Tackle Box. He might come fish with me. So we'll just have to see. What about Cody? I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, it's day to day. I told Cody I might fish with him. Yeah, Bass Fanatic. We're only, what, like 5 hours away, which is really nothing. Someone said everyone's using you for your smallmouth. Just keep them to yourself. Yeah, Greg, you are right. I'm very aware that I'm very, very aware that people are just using me to fish for the smallmouth. But for me, it's an opportunity to connect with some of the bigger names in YouTube. And I don't think they're using me. I think I understand what I'm doing. They understand what I'm doing. So, yeah. But I understand your concern for sure. How about D Almighty? I met D Almighty. You know, what's funny is Jake is one of the most chill people that I've ever met. Like, you see him in the videos, he's always so high energy. That's not, I mean, he is a very chill, very awesome dude. Nothing but good things to say about Jake. Alex is definitely using me. Alex Rudd is definitely just using me to come up and catch big smallmouth. And I'm totally okay with that. Dude, I hope you do send me a picture of a 7-pound smallmouth tomorrow. That would be awesome. Oh, so I have to be honest with you guys. I've always promised you guys openness and honesty in my YouTube stuff. Lately, I've just not been, well, I get these spurts of motivation. So I get incredibly motivated to make a bunch of videos, and then I kind of lose motivation because of the haters. I really try to just ignore haters on my videos, guys, and this goes back to what I just said. I'm trying to be very open and honest with you guys. Today was a tough day because I posted some content that I thought was pretty good in the past couple days, and it just is draining. Yeah, I know. I got to come up to Canada and fish. I want to go fish Ontario, Lake Ontario out of Canada. I'd also like to fish the Erie out of Canada. But a company that I work with, or a company that I have talked to a ton, Bass Magnet Lures, they have some phenomenal fish. I mean, they're on really good fish, so I'd like to go up there and fish with those guys. Simcoe would be fun. Does Simcoe have big smallmouth? I mean, I'm sure it does. It has giant perch, so the smallmouth have to be there. Alex said, dude, you just suck. Give up. I was one of the dislikes. So I actually did a deep dive today on my videos to figure out what was going on with the haters, with the dislikes. And when I say haters, I really don't mean like people leaving nasty comments, with the exception of a couple people that just leave nasty comments on every video. I'm talking like I get like 9 dislikes a video. And I started doing a deep dive. It's really funny because my subscribers, the people that I actually care about, almost unanimously like my videos. In the last year of doing YouTube, I've gotten 89 dislikes from my subscribers with over 6,000 likes. That says a ton. However, the people not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's almost 1-to-1. So for every like, I get a dislike. It's like 142 in the last month, 142 likes, 138 dislikes. So it just drives me insane. Because, and not because I take it personally, but because it's contagious. When someone sees that someone disliked the video, they feel like it's, oh, well, I'll just go hit the dislike button. That's the way I see it anyways. Anyways, off topic. Nice hat. Yeah, I gotta love LTB. This is one of the new LTB hats that they came out with. It's pretty sweet. What's going on, J&M Fishing Adventures? Have I ever wanted to ledge fish somewhere like Pickwick? So I went down and fished Pickwick 2 times. I fished it for the national championship for college fishing. And I sucked, man. Like, well, I shouldn't say I sucked. I finished like 40-something the first year, and then my boat broke down the second year. But that ledge fishing stuff, at the time, I didn't understand how to do it. I think if I went back now, I'm so much better with the graphs that I would be able to hopefully catch a couple fish, but it was really tough. What's going on, Nick? Yeah, Greg, I appreciate it. I'm not saying that you guys don't like my videos. I'm not also saying that I'm also not saying that sorry, I'm reading some of the comments. I'm not also saying that I don't understand a couple dislikes, but it's like consistent. Anyways, Jacob Williamson. Are we going fishing? I don't know. Well, that's kind of cool. I'll see you later, Jake. I appreciate you stopping in. Hook me up with some questions. What would you guys like to know? Love my smallie game. Dude, I love my smallie game because I'm dying to get on the big water. Like, you guys have no idea. I broke my boat in. When I went on Saturday, I basically spent the whole day breaking my boat in. I shot that quick video, which was talking about wintertime bass fishing baits. Fish for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'm terrible in cold water, cold, muddy water. So if the water is cold and clear, I can catch them. If the water is warm and muddy, I can catch them. But cold and muddy, I can't catch them. Whatever. But, yeah. So Saturday, I went out there, broke my boat in. Sunday, I went out and caught a bunch of fish. And yeah, it was awesome. Why haven't I gotten to take it out on Lake Huron? It's been too rough. So it was like 25-mile-an-hour winds on Saturday morning. First thing Saturday morning, it was really, really windy. And then Sunday, they forecasted waves like 1 to 3. Well, when they forecast waves 1 to 3, it's really like 2 to 4. It's rough. What's 3 baits I have tied on for smallmouth right now? A blade. When I say right now, my water is 43 to 48. It might be higher than that today. It might even hit 50. But a blade bait, which is just really a slab of metal, a drop shot, and a tube. If I can only have 3. If I can have 5, I'm going to have a jerk bait. And I'm going to have a hair jig. Do I ever fish Sanford or Wixom? Yes. I fish both. I actually lived just down the road from Sanford, and where I broke my boat in was on Wixom. Black and blue jigs slow. Yeah, I actually love fishing. I love jig fishing. So, Greg, that's absolutely ironic because I should have just put a jig in my hand and not set it down. I picked up a spinnerbait and I picked up a jig for a little bit, but I didn't fish long enough. I didn't really fish that hard either, to be honest with you guys. Dying here in Minnesota. Bass. So Michigan used to have a closed bass season as well. I think it opened up like the 3rd week of April. But yeah, now it's open all year round. It's just catch and release until Memorial Day weekend. Nick Dombrowski asks, have I ever been to any of the lakes near Grand Traverse Bay or Traverse City area? Yes. Yes. I fished Grand Traverse Bay June last year when those fish were pre-spawn, I think. And I struggled. I'm still learning how to fish that ultra clear water. And when I talk ultra clear, for you guys that don't know, I'm talking like 30 to 50 foot visibility. So yeah, I'm still learning to fish it. I only caught one that was about, I don't know, it was like almost 4 pounds, but yeah, Greg, jigs get a lot of big bites. That's why I got so interested in jigs. I fished with one of the best jig fishermen that I've ever met, Andy Meyer. He's here from Michigan, or from Midland area. But I fished with him for a while in tournaments, and I learned how to jig fish from him. And then I took it to dock fishing, and then, yeah, it was awesome. Okay, smallmouth spawn. Let's explain the smallmouth spawn. So, inland lakes, they spawn very similarly to largemouth, although you'll find them in a little bit more current, like currenty areas. So in the rivers, I find them typically further upriver towards the dam than I do largemouth. And this is inland lakes, keep in mind. And they spawn a little bit. They kind of spawn a little bit. I guess it's about the same temperature. Really like 58 to 64. And they're, yeah, someone said a lot more aggressive. Yes, they're incredibly more aggressive. I'd rather find a smallmouth on a bed than a largemouth because smallmouth I can typically make bite. Thanks for joining, Andrew. He said, I just saw your video with Parrot, so he came here. Yes, thank you for joining the live stream. Smallmouth on beds, I fish with a tube and a drop shot. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can get them to bite a drop shot or a tube 9 out of 10 times. On the big lake, on the Great Lakes, rock. And you know what's weird is they make dark beds. So you look around for dark beds rather than light spots. And you also look for big boulders. A lot of times they'll spawn like on the edge of the boulder, and you'll just look for a small dark spot, and that's where they're at. John, good luck on Sanford and Wixom. Those are both good lakes. It just depends on when they're at. I can't remember. I looked at the MCBC tournament schedule, and I can't remember when they are, but it'll be fun. I've never fished Lake Hudson. How would I target smallmouth in a lake that has mostly grass for cover and not much rock structure? Smallmouth are roaming. Like they tend to roam a lot more, so they don't need rock. That's just what they prefer when there's a lot of rock. Like they prefer to find structure. So if you have a lake with grass, you find isolated grass patches, and you want to find the bait. The bait is a big key. When I caught those, if you guys haven't yet, go check out my personal best smallmouth video. Those fish were related to a grass bed eating perch. And the way I found those fish was by looking at my graph to find perch, and then I found them bass. So you want to look for isolated structure or cover. For your lake, it'll probably be isolated grass patches where there's bait, where people are fishing for perch. That's what I would recommend. Water depth on St. Clair for spawning smallmouth. Anywhere up to, I would say anywhere up to about 10 foot where you can see them, but they're going to spawn all the way out to 14 foot. They're going to spawn like, because it's so clear, it's relative. I mean, because it's pretty clear, those fish are going to spawn all the way to 14 foot of water. Okay, so it's interesting because depending on where you're at, the beds are going to be different colors depending on what like the bottom of the lake is actually made of. So like if I go up north, if I go to Traverse City area, Lake Charlevoix, they look like neon bright beds. I don't know if it's limestone underneath. I don't know what it is, but when a smallmouth makes a bed, it will look like a bright neon green bed, and you'll see a fish on it. It just depends on where you are. Lake Huron, they look dark because I think they clear away all this limestone rock, and then it's something underneath that's darker than the limestone, but I'm not entirely sure. Watch your Hardy Pond video where I discuss how I'd approach it. Can I do something similar? Can you do an on the water there this year? Place is tough. I really struggle on Hardy. You know, that video was really based on a time that I spent on the water there, and I mean, it's a really tough body of water. Unless early in the season when those fish are on beds, it's a little bit easier, but it is a very, very tough body of water. What do I look for non-spawn for largemouth on St. Clair? You can go up to Anchor Bay on St. Clair and catch largemouth. Also in the marinas. I know a couple years ago, I guess I'm dating myself here, but I think 4 years ago in a college tournament, largemouth won the college tournament out of the Detroit River because guys went up into the marinas and caught like 17 or 18 pounds of largemouth. So the marinas hold a lot of largemouth. Also up in the reeds, back in the rivers that lead in, you can catch them. How are rods different than each other? You have, the way rod's set up, you have different lengths, power, and action. Okay, so length is obviously, you have different lengths for different applications. Longer rods allow you to make longer casts, but they can be a little bit harder to control. So like if you want to skip docks, you don't want to skip docks with my 7.6. I'm going to skip with a 6'9", and a lot of it's preference. So on the water experience, which is really the most cop-out answer ever. So length will help you determine the length rod you want. Shorter rods, more accurate. Longer rods, further casting distance. And your power is like the amount of backbone a rod has. So it's the stiffness of your rod. And so you choose it based on your application. So for light tackle, for baits with light hooks, you want to use a lighter stiffness power rod. Drop shots, I use a medium. A lot of guys even go down to a medium light with a drop shot rod. Jigs, I'll throw a medium heavy or a heavy. And then finally, action is the amount of tip section a rod has. And this is what helps you control the fish. It helps you sense bites. If you go with an extra fast, the tip is going to be really quick and it'll get into the backbone a lot more quickly. So you can detect those really, really soft bites better, but get a heavy hook set because it has a lot of backbone. Whereas a moderate action rod would be like a crankbait rod. That'll help you keep those fish pinned when you're fighting them to the boat on baits with treble hooks, because fish tend to spit treble hook baits a lot more easily. So length, power, and action is what make up different rods. I hope that makes sense. What are good clear water baits for a lake with a lot of rocks? I'd fish shaky heads or drop shots. I'd also fish something natural. So even you can fish a crankbait in clear water, but keep it very translucent, natural colors. Basically, just try to match the forage as closely as possible. What's the best bait? My favorite bait would probably be a crankbait. Probably a deep diving crankbait, like down to 20 foot. So like a CD15 or a 300DD, that's probably my favorite. What do I throw for largemouth around docks? I love skipping docks with a jig. I will tie in a 1/2 ounce skipping jig, a 1/2 ounce jig, a 6'9" rod, and skip docks all day. So oh yeah, okay, so bearded bass just elaborated on what I was saying. Rods differ too by the material they're built out of. You can have fiberglass, you can have graphite, you can have composite, and it's just going to affect the action, the power, and everything else that is associated. What do I feel for when getting bites? Because I think I have a fish, and then you'll set the hook, and nothing will be there. That's so tough. I don't know how to explain what a bite feels like. There are a couple different types of bites. So you'll have the ones that you know are bites when you're reeling a bait back, and it will stop your bait. That's obviously a bite. You'll set the hook. You have mushy bites where your bait just kind of feels soft, and this is what we were experiencing on Saturday. We'd reel that bait in, and it would feel soft. We thought we had grass on the bait, and then we'd just set the hook. I mean, my buddy Alex said it best, hook sets are free. But when your bait just feels a little bit different, it's either grass or it could be a fish. So you just set the hook. But as you fish more, the more you fish, the more you'll get a feel for what bites feel like. Someone said I've been struggling with cold, dirty water. I hate it. It's very tough. I really struggle with cold, dirty water too. The biggest thing, and we touched on it just a hair earlier, I mean, you just slow down and you fish it sounds contradictory, but you fish a little bit bigger bait that has a little bit bigger profile, and you might not get as many bites, but you typically get better bites. You want to fish a dark colored bait because in dingy water, those dark colored baits are going to get they're going to stand out more. They're going to silhouette more. And so darker, bigger baits. Or baits that put out a lot of thump. So like Colorado bladed spinner baits, one knocker rattle traps, or one knocker lipless crankbaits, I mean. Just baits that put off a lot of vibration. Ever fished sturgeon bait for smallmouth? I have not. I haven't. It's kind of one of those bucket list places, but I've never fished there. Chatterbait 24/7. Chatterbait around grass is an amazing way to fish it. Although my buddy Nathan kind of started schooling me on this little key deal where all he did is cast it out, let it sink to the bottom in 7 foot of water, and all we do is this. And you just turn the handle so slow, the blade just barely thumps, and you feel it hit the bottom. And then eventually when your blade stops, it's either a fish or it's a rock, and all you do is you lean into it, and if it pops over the rock, then you go back to reeling, and if it doesn't, you set the hook. What's my personal best? Personal best smallmouth is 6 pounds 9 ounces. Personal best largemouth was giant, and I didn't have a scale. And I know that sounds like a big cop-out excuse. I seriously didn't have a scale, and I didn't want to keep it out of the water too long, so I just put it back. It was probably close to 7. The biggest I got a weight on was 5 pounds 11 ounces. But yeah. Yeah, with a jig bite, you're either going to feel this fish, like, it'll feel like if you hold your finger out, you just tap your finger, that's what it'll feel like, or it'll feel mushy and you just set the hook. What's going on, Bill? When fishing swim baits, do you prefer a heavy action rod so you can play the fish, or a swim bait rod with no play? I'm still learning the swim bait game. The rod that I was fishing on Sunday was more of like, I think it depends on the bait too. A bait with treble hooks, you want a bait or you want a rod with a little bit of play. But even still, once that fish hits, you just want to turn that fish's head and keep him coming to the boat. It's also different depending on where you're at. So if you're in California where those fish are choking your glide bait, your hard bait with treble hooks, you can fish a bait, or you can fish a rod that has a little bit more play to it. But for the most part, up here, those fish are swatting at your bait. They might get one hook inside the edge of their mouth or something. So for the most part, I just want something that I can horse that fish back to the boat. If I'm fishing like a HUD, I'm fishing it on a heavy, well, I'm going to fish it on a 7.9 extra heavy with a moderate fast tip. And really what it is my punching rod. I want to be able to get a really good hook set on that fish and just get that fish moving towards me. Because that bait has a lot of weight, and I feel like if I don't get that fish moving to me and get his head turned moving, he has a lot of opportunities to throw that bait. Someone said, do I like Mystery Tackle Box more than LTV? I'm partnered with Lucky Tackle Box. I think Lucky Tackle Box has a lot of advantages, but the biggest thing is the information side. Every month we put out videos that explains every single bait in the box. So that's really where the difference is. I can't get Paragon here. He is in Hong Kong, or he's in China somewhere. What's up, Infinity? Someone said, when's your next tournament? So I don't really fish tournaments anymore. I kind of got out of that tournament scene. But I actually talked to my buddy, and I might try to do like a I might try to do like a Major League Fishing style tournament this year, if I can find one around here. I heard it's amazing. Like, the pressure is the most intense tournament situation ever. And the other reason that I don't really like the tournament stuff is because a lot of guys spend way too much time pre-fishing them, and I don't feel like going out and spending a whole bunch of time pre-fishing. I'd rather just go out and fish. But with the Major League stuff, you don't know where it's going to be held, so you can't go pre-fish it. And I feel like that would give me an advantage. I think one of my benefits is that I'm able to break down water quickly and go out and catch fish, but I can't necessarily find the best spot in the lake against guys that have more experience without getting on the water and pre-fishing. So, see what I mean? Maybe, hopefully. Good spring flipping an open water smallmouth bait. A tube. You can flip a tube with an open jig hook, or you can drag a tube in open water for smallmouth, and either way you're going to catch fish. I've never fished Elk Lake. I was supposed to fish Torch last year, but we ended up going to Belleville, I believe. Bellevue. Hong Kong Fui, yes. They are in Hong Kong. They were, at least when John and Alex posted their video. I should do a subscriber tournament. Yes, I want to. I have to figure out the logistics. I have to go out and figure out where I would do it and when I would fish or when I would hold it and just everything like that. There's not a ton of ponds around here. There's not like big bodies of water where we could do it at. I feel like if I hosted a subscriber tournament, I would probably do it at the Tittabawassee River here in Midland. But it's one of those things that I'd have to still work on planning. Have I ever fished with Wisconsin? No, I haven't. It'd be a cool place to fish. I want to fish in Mississippi, but I've just never gotten the opportunity yet. Yeah, 6 cents crankbaits are awesome. What's the perfect water temperature for bass fishing? I love it when the water temp is between 52 and 58.5 degrees. That's when those fish are both pre-spawn, and then in the fall, that's when those fish are feeding up for the fall. And that's when you can catch your biggest fish of the year. That's when those fish really, really group up. So, yeah. Have I ever fished the Shiawassee River? I have not. I know a guy that fishes the Shiawassee quite a bit, but I don't fish it. What do you, for those of you guys that have watched my most recent video, what do you guys think of the style where I kind of break down what I'm doing, where I kind of where I kind of try to explain throughout the day like what my pattern is and what I'm doing to catch those fish. Did you guys enjoy that? Was it something I could have left out and you guys would have been just as satisfied? What do you guys think? When's the spawn on St. Clair? It's probably going to be early May, last weekend of April, early May. But it depends too. The water's super muddy right now, and with a lot of rain, it's kind of messing everything up. So I'm not sure. Can smallmouth be fished on beds like largemouth? Yes, they can. Smallmouth bed fishing, it's not something I do a lot. I'm not a huge fan of bed fishing, but you definitely can do it. Someone said, am I from the east side? Yes, yes I am. I'm from Midland. Hey, Fishing Michigan, keep in mind that river's closed. It's closed till the end of April. April 19th, I guess, or 29th. So you're not technically supposed to be fishing it because it's closed for walleye season. Thank you, Jacob. I saw your comment. I appreciate that. I thought it was something a little bit different than my other videos. I have some new things planned coming out here to help spice my videos up a little bit, but I thought it was a cool concept. The thing is, I'm not like a terribly funny guy. Like, I really like SB Fishing's videos, and I like Alex's videos because they have a lot of like comedic content. That's not something that I have a ton of. I don't really fish over in Grand Rapids area. The closest I've gotten is Hardy Dam Pond, and I also fished Lake Michigan for salmon. But yeah, down at the Tridge is supposed to be closed for the walleye spawn. They can't all be as funny as you, Alex. That's for sure. I'm definitely not as funny as you. Yeah, SB he's hilarious, man. He's a good dude too. Yeah, you guys are going to see a lot of fishing content coming out relatively soon. I just have to get back on the water. I'll probably get out Friday. I'll probably, hopefully, have a video coming out for you guys. Today's Tuesday. Thursday, with a little bit more of a breakdown on what I did to catch those fish last weekend on Sunday, which I explained a little bit on here. But it just kind of explains the pattern, explains what we did and what we found out there. Although the guy that I talked to at the ramp went off the next day and stroked them. Like, we caught maybe 18 pounds. They caught certified like 23 pounds. That is a great question, Little Goza. No. If it had any impact, it was positive. I went out when I went out and caught those fish, I didn't catch really any like small fish. Last year when I went out to Lancer, I was catching some small fish. But this year when I went out fishing on Sunday, they were all relatively 2.5 to 3 pounds, with a couple 4s mixed in, with a couple bigger fish mixed in. Pontiac Lake, I heard it was muddy. I heard it was kind of tough, so it'll be interesting to hear how that goes, Bill. No problem, Dylan, man. I understand. I started this one late. I just wanted to connect with you guys. I haven't done this in a long time. And after seeing the feedback on my last video, I just wanted to connect with you guys, make sure the feedback was still positive. Yeah, Pontiac was tough for me when I went down last year. I only went down one time. The Pine River is up 2 or 3 feet right now. Yeah, I believe it's high. I mean, it's all going to still be high until that water drains out into the big lake. Lancer is a fun lake to fish. Yeah, someone said someone didn't know how to build a dam. They basically stuck the dam open, drained like, I think it was 6 foot low at one point. Some of the spots in the middle of the lake was only 1.5 feet. It was a mess. People were afraid they weren't ever going to get water back in the lake. It was a mess. What's going on, Tyler? I've never fished Fenton. Someone asked me my favorite technique. I like to fish a deep diving crankbait. I like to fish offshore. Favorite technique is offshore fishing. Using my electronics to find those fish that are living offshore. I mean, that's what I really like to do. And I really used to not like fishing offshore, but my Panoptics unit where I can see what's out in front of me, that really made it like video game fishing to me because I can visualize what's out there and know what cast I have to make, and I can pretty much call my shots sometimes. Hey, Ray, dude. Yeah, where are you headed tomorrow? Are you headed to Arbuckle? Or are you headed to Murray? Yeah, Tyler, I was out last weekend. I broke the boat in on Saturday, caught him on Lancer on Sunday. Caught about 18 pounds. It's all estimated, but it was pretty close to 18. And then this guy that I talked to at the ramp got on a like silly. He said it was the silliest lipless crankbait bite. The next day he caught almost 25 pounds, 23 pounds. That'll be sweet, Bill. Let me know how you guys do on Pontiac. That's a fun lake. It's an interesting lake that I've never done well on, but I know there's some good fish in there. Yeah, the weekend, it's crazy because we get these warm weekends and then we get like 4 days or 3 days of kind of milder weather. Then we get back to really nice weekends. So we've gotten incredibly lucky recently. Get ready for the Kimple. Yeah. For my stuff offshore, I don't think I would really. I think I wouldn't be able to do my offshore stuff without my electronics. I would not have any confidence in the world to do my offshore stuff with confidence if I didn't have electronics. I could catch largemouth without electronics. I could catch some sacks of largemouth without electronics, but smallmouth I wouldn't. That'd be nothing. Do I ever ice fish? No, I went once this year. I'm just not a fan. I should have gone more. I just didn't. Yeah, Humminbird has probably the best side imaging on the market. With the Mega imaging, they had probably the best side imaging on the market before the Mega imaging. And then, yeah. Meet up in St. Clair. Maybe. It depends on when we're talking to meet on St. Clair. I'm going down to Florida next week to fish, and then I'll probably be spending a lot of time out on the big lake up here trying to find some stuff. What's going on, Joey Marshall? So guys on Instagram, I'm going to have to end the live stream and then we'll restart it. Have a minute 36. After 1 hour, the Instagram live stream ends, and then we'll just restart it back up. Yeah, free school outdoors. Sorry, I read the first half of your thing and then I didn't read the rest. You said you're making some videos on your side imaging. That's something that I think is limitedly tapped. I think the more videos you put out, the faster you're going to grow, because it's going to be incredible to see some of that footage on how to use your side imaging more effectively. I think that's something that not a lot of people do. So I'll for sure have to check it out. Do Smalley's spots on Huron stay the same each year? No. So that spot I caught, those 2 giants, well, that spot I caught 27 pounds, 6 ounces on 2 years ago, really was brutal last year. The grass wasn't there. And without the grass, the bait wasn't there. And without the bait, the smallmouth weren't there. I probably caught maybe 5 fish off of it all year. So they do change. But if you're fishing like offshore rocks, if you're fishing like a rock pile or something, typically you can go back and find fish on the Great Lakes. What electronics do I have? I'm fishing Garmin. I have a Garmin 7610 at the console and a 1040 XS up front. That's a 10. They're both 10-inch units. and then I run the Panoptics. The Panoptics is really what sold me on Garmin. If they didn't have Panoptics, I would probably still be running my Humminbirds, just because, I mean, I think the Panoptics is awesome. Okay, I'm going to restart on Instagram, so give me a half a second. Sorry, guys, give me half a second. Okay. 4 10-inch swim baits. That'll be sick, man. I hope you catch fish on them. What lake am I going to in Florida? Oh, when do I go to Florida? Oh, wow, I can't read. When I go to Florida, go to Lake Bryan. I'm actually fishing with Mikey Balls down in Florida. So we're going to be fishing his stuff. Yes, dude. I don't know. I talked to John at the Classic a little bit. He is going to come up again this year for sure to fish for smallmouth. So we'll make it happen. I don't know when it's going to be. The thing with those guys is it's kind of all like last minute plans. Jeremy, yes, I have. It's tough. I spend a lot of time out there actually, Jeremy. And it's tough because sometimes you can't make it. Like you just can't go. So what's my favorite lake? I love fishing the Great Lakes. I like the smallmouth stuff. Inland, I love to fish Lancer. It's a small lake, but it has some big fish. Blaine, that'll be awesome. Who's putting that tournament on? In July. Who's putting that tournament on? That would be a cool tournament to fish. How about a Champlain trip? I've been to Champlain. I've been to Champlain, and it's an amazing fishery. It's an awesome place to fish. Do I ever fish wacky rigs in open water? Fishing stick baits, fishing Senkos, fishing like wacky rigs. It's the death of me. I have, but that's my last resort. Michigan Bassmasters. Huh, that'll be a fun tournament, man. It's a cool body of water. It's one of those places that you're gonna have to go out and find fish. I mean, it's not like, don't take this personally, anyone that fishes St. Clair a lot, but St. Clair has so many fish that St. Clair has so many fish that you could go out, and what you do to find them is you get in the middle of the lake, you drift with the wind, and you find a pot of fish, you mark that fish, and you can come back and catch them. I'm not saying that's the best way to go out about finding fish on St. Clair, but you can't do that on Huron. Ned rigs are the truth. I should try them. I have fished Ned rigs a decent amount, but for me, it's just so hard. I mean, that bait's so small, and you got to fish it slow. It's something I want to learn this year. Let's put it that way. Did I do competitive fishing in college? I started the college fishing team at Northwood University in Michigan, and I fished a lot in college. If I had more money, I would have fished more. But, yeah. I fished Pickwick. I fished Champlain. I fished St. Clair. I fished, what's the one in Virginia? Smith Mountain Lake. I fished Tanner's Creek. I fished a bunch of different places in college. It was a really cool experience. College fishing, I think, is a way to come up through the sport. Start in high school, go up through college. Then you fish through the ranks if you want to get into the tournament stuff. And you really find out if you're good enough. Yeah, the boat pattern works at Lake St. Clair. That is for sure. If there's people catching them, or if you see a pot of boats, you just go kind of pull in next to them and you catch them. Ooh, Champlain is a blast, Pascal. That lake is so much fun. Will I ever try micro fishing? Probably not. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if I will or not. But I'm so focused on this bass stuff and focused on providing you guys good information that I really am not a fan of, like, the silly videos anymore. I really want to build my brand around my ability to help you guys go out and catch fish. North Champlain. Dude, so on Champlain, we ran all the way up to, we had a college tournament, ran all the way up to the Canada Bridge, and we had opportunities to catch probably a 18, 19-pound bag if we would have just not been idiots and thrown a chatterbait. Instead, I threw a spook for 4 hours and then Senko for 2 hours and had an hour drive back. I was an idiot, but North Champlain is great. That last bay before you go into Canada. Do you fish tournaments on Wixom Lake? I probably will fish some of the Thursday nighters just for fun with my buddy Thad, Pioneer Outdoors, but I don't typically do tournaments. I just kind of got out of it. I want to go fish where I want to fish, when I want to fish, rather than go fish tournaments on predetermined lakes and fish around a bunch of people. The rock crawler is a good bait. The rock crawler is a very good bait, especially this time of year, pre-spawn. It'll catch fish. Hey, what's going on, West New York Fishing Girl? How's it going, guys? I'm only going to stay on a couple more minutes, unless this absolutely just blows up and I start getting a whole bunch of questions. But it's kind of tired, or I'm kind of tired. Detroit River any good for deep water smallmouth? It can be. Like September time, it can be, but it's tough because a lot of times those fish are on the main lake or on Erie. What's going on, Cisco? I'll be on the Canadian side. That is awesome, Pascal. That is really, really, really cool. That's like a dream trip up to St. Clair. No problem, man. How'd you do? Did you catch him? Hi, Peyton. How's it going? If you guys want me to say hi to you, just say hi. Good night, Alex. Thank you very much. Do I still play lax with those shorts? No, I gave up lacrosse after college. I used to play goalie in lacrosse. I played goalie in hockey. I still do hockey. But yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, these shorts are, I don't know, lacrosse is a very weird sport. They're all about flow and swag and anything cool, and supposedly these used to be cool, but all I know is they're comfortable. Dude, that is awesome, Cisco. I'll talk to you later, Dylan. I hate you too, Alex. Oh, dude. You know what's funny is I actually didn't watch the last game on Sunday at the Joe, which probably makes me the worst Red Wings fan ever. I love the Red Wings. Like, I grew up idolizing the Red Wings players, but to see the Joe go, it's really, really, really hard. I mean, not like, I'm not going to cry here, but it's tough because you think back to like all the good times, like all the Stanley Cups, Steve Yzerman, Fedorov, Shanahan, Chris Osgood was like my favorite player, Dominic Hasek, all the greats that played in that building, and on to new, better things, bigger, better things. Yeah, Cisco. Yes. I'm sure they crushed that spinnerbait, man. My dad and I went to see the game that they played Ottawa when they went into that long, long shootout, and that was awesome. Really, really, really good game. I also went and saw the game when they played Boston and when they went down 4-1 in the first period and then ended up coming back and winning in a shootout. So I was at 2 games this season, only 2, one with Kylie, one with Dad, and both, in my opinion, were some of the best games that they played all year. So it was very, very cool. I was very fortunate to go to see 2 games this year at the Joe before they're about to tear it down. John Boat. What do you want me to say about a John Boat? Okay. Hook me up with a couple questions. If I don't start getting a couple questions in, then I'm probably just going to call it. It's a late night. It's a lot later than I probably should be doing a live stream, but Such is life, right, people? You only live once. Yeah, Blaine, for sure, man. I mean, I grew up watching games at that rink for as far back as I can remember. So the very first game I ever went to was with my buddy Quinn. I think it was a it was with my mom and my brother Brandon and my dad. It was 1999. It was 98 exhibition game against the Washington Capitals. So it was the year after or the beginning of the season after they won the cup. And yeah, it was unreal. Pre-spawn crappie tips. I don't fish crappie. Best drop shot bait. Currently, the Bass Magnet Lures Twitch is my favorite drop shot bait. There's a new bait coming out. I can't say too much about it, but there's a new bait coming out from a company that I work with that I think is going to be awesome. It's not going to replace my Twitch, but I think it's going to be another bait I can mix in there and catch fish on. Secret. I'm excited to try it. Do I carry a spare bilge pump and alligator clips? If I'm making a long run, yes. If I'm only going out a couple miles, no. I really should, especially if I'm going out on the Great Lakes, but no. But if I'm making a long run, 3+ miles, I will. Other than lure advice on fishing, smallmouth. Oh, other than lure advice on fishing, smallmouth. Best bass boat for the Great Lakes, Phoenix. Hands down, the best. Well, other than the Old Champion, Phoenix is the best big water handling boat, bass boat. If I were to get a new boat, like if a company said you can have any boat you wanted, I would choose a bay style boat, like the boats they run in the in the ocean, the bay, because it's so much deeper. You can fish a lot bigger water, a lot bigger waves, and still have the fishability of a bass style boat with the casting deck up front and out back. Yes, I will be watching the Margzona show on Thursday. Yeah, Blaine, those Twitch are really good. I love them. Yeah, the cartridge type spare. Oh my gosh, that is the world's biggest spider. Hold on. I'm sorry. A giant spider. I had to get rid of it. Nah, get out of there. Show it. I killed it. It's a tiny ball like this now. Does Frank's carry Bass Magnet? No. It's only a Canadian thing. I tried to get Bass Magnet to stock it in Michigan, but I think it's literally like Mike and his wife that pour those baits. They're all hand pours, and injection molds. So, yeah. They don't want to get too big and not be able to support the things. Yeah, big and spider, dude. It was seriously like that big around. It was giant. I will not be at the sports show in Kalamazoo this weekend. Sorry, people. I will be fishing. Ranger 522D is a serious boat too. I ran in a regular Ranger 522 though, like a Ranger 522 bass boat. You better get the deep haul if you're trying to go on big water with a Ranger. That's all I'm saying. Not saying Ranger's bad. Just saying I nearly died. No, I didn't, but I really hurt. Hook me up with some questions. Do I ever fish Grand Lake, the one up north by Alpina, yes, I have once. Have I fished grand or did I fish long? Maybe I fished long. I don't know if I fished grand. Dude, Cisco, what are you going to be working there? Now you make me feel bad that I'm not coming down to see you. Okay, so since everyone's on here, we are going to recap my goals for 2017. I think it's good to revisit goals, make sure that they're still in the front of your mind. My goals are 7-pound smallmouth, 30-pound bag of smallmouth. And I want to fish 5 different states. 5 different states? I have it as a screensaver on my background, or on my phone. I want to fish like 4 different states, 5 different collaborations. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers, which is like my big goal. And that's something that is like a long ways away. It's something I think we're still possibly going to fit, or we're possibly going to hit in 2017. It's just a long ways away. It feels a long ways away right now. It all comes with hard work, though. Do I prefer throwing weightless flukes on spinning or bait casting gear? 5-inch fluke. That's hard, man. I mean, it just depends. A 5-inch fluke, probably on a spinning rod. I fish pretty much all my flukes on a spinning rod. So I did fish it on a bait caster down in Texas. I put a big 5-aught heavy-duty worm hook, extra wide gap, and it gave me enough weight where I could cast it. You okay, baby? Gave me enough weight where I could cast it. But typically on a spinning rod. What's my favorite smallmouth lure for the river? A crankbait. It moves. It catches fish. Flat out catches them. Smaller crankbait. Going for a 5-pound smallmouth and a 20-pound bag. Yeah, you can get it, man. I'm sure you'll get it. Lure lips. Oh, yeah. Lure lipstick booth, yeah. I've always been interested in trying some of that stuff, but I just haven't gotten my hands on any. I miss you too, Taylor. Did you fish in that, or did you play in that lacrosse tournament last weekend? When am I going to come to the west side of the state? That's a great question. Tis a great question. I'll probably go northwest, Traverse City area. I'll probably go directly to Charlevoix, but I don't know if I'm going to go over to like straight west. That's great, Taylor. That's funny. Yeah, Jacob, not a problem, man. That's my same setup. I think if you're talking the 7.2 medium extra fast, that's the setup I use. I love it. And for years and years and years and years and years, and I caught a 29-pound bag on it, and for years I threw a 7-foot fast, a medium fast action rod, and it works awesome. I just wanted to change it up a little bit to meet some of my different needs. I actually fished Texas this year. I fished Lake Travis. I've never been on Lake Conroe, though. A 20-pound northern pike is a giant. For square bill, you just use the 7-foot medium heavy. I recommend like a moderate fast, but if you have to use a 7-foot medium heavy fast, use it. Or a 7-foot medium fast. Either one. You'll be fine. I promise you. Okay, guys, 2 minutes. At 10:20, I am going to call it a night. If you can't tell, I'm tired. Long day at work. Actually, you know, a lot of the stress today was from some of the YouTube fun, but yeah. 39-pounder through the ice. Oh my. That is a giant pike. You know who I would love to fish with is the guy from Uncut Angling. That guy knows what he's doing, and he is like, I love his content. I might start changing up my personality when I get on camera. Like, get all pumped up about fish. Like, woo, what a launch! Like, just go absolutely crazy. Be super positive. Maybe that's what I need to get more views, more thumbs up from people that are coming to watch my videos and give me a thumbs down. Have I ever fly fished? No. It's something I'd love to do. I just never learned. I never taught myself. I never reached out to anyone to try and learn. So, yeah. Yeah, Uncut Angling. That dude is great. I would love to fish with him. I'm so open to fishing with people. It's just, I don't mean this the wrong way, by the way, but I'm afraid to take Michigan guys out to my spot anymore. So that's why I really only, like, people ask me to go smallmouth fishing. I'm afraid to take Michigan dudes out there. You guys are seeing the real Ben right now. Like, this is Ben mode on tired. Ooh, G Loomis E6S drop shot rod. That rod looks sick. I played around with it a little bit in the store, but since I built my own, I wasn't about to go spend money on one, but that rod looks awesome. Who is that? That's thumbing up. Taylor, is that you that just keeps thumbing up my Instagram? That's funny. Yes, dude. Texas, Infinity Texas Bass Fishing, or I don't know what your name is, but dude, you are more than welcome. I forgot how much I missed doing these live streams with you guys. Like, this is fun. That's funny, Taylor, dude. You make me laugh. What do I use when I fish up? Oh, Adam. Adam Smith was the one that was giving me all the hearts on Instagram. Thank you, man. That was funny. I just saw it kept going over and over and over and over. I wasn't sure who it was. What's going on, Hector? We're gonna end this here. Thank you all for joining. I had a lot of fun. I forgot how much fun these are to do for you guys. I'll probably do some more here soon. I have a live stream tomorrow night on my buddy Colton's channel, Twig and Timber Outdoors. This is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Should be a lot of fun. If you guys want to see more live streams with me on my channel, I'll start doing these more often. I'll post a little bit longer notice, so that way you guys have an opportunity to join in. I appreciate you all watching. If you haven't yet, go check out some of my other videos. Click subscribe down below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, want to see more fishing content, click the subscribe button, click the little bell, and it'll let you know when I post videos. As always, guys, take care. Tight lines. God bless. Pursue your passion.